Okay, this is week 12, chapter 7. Okay, in this chapter we cover mainly we cover the eSCM for outsourcing. Okay, and we analyze relevant industry best practices and standards. We continue to do that, but with a focus on TOGAF and eSCM. So let's start. So what is outsourcing? We all know about outsource. When you like give a service, a contract to another company to do some, like what we have here, we have some outsourcing company for fixing our photocopiers. So, uh, according to IAOP, outsourcing is a long-term, results-oriented business relationship with a third party who are specialized in doing certain services. Okay? So it is a critical component of IT governance, of course. And we have two types of outsource. We have strategic long-term and tactical short-term. Okay? In other words, outsourcing is the act of obtaining service from an external source and the practice of contracting out a business function, okay, previously performed by us to be done by another company. That's why we call it outsourced. Before we are doing it, then we give this to another company to do it. That's why it says outsourced. Okay. Strategic IT sourcing and outsourcing and vendor management are part of execution management. Okay. And it's very important in IT governance. I mean, I'm sure you agree on this, right? You cannot just do everything. Now companies are growing and they cannot, big organizations, they have to outsource some of their tasks. Assets and processes are transferred to service providers or core competencies are supplemented by service providers, centers of excellence. Okay? When you need, yani sometimes you need to get help of expert. Okay, let's say you want to outsource your security, like the parking facilities, security, things like that. You can outsource. You get experienced people, expert people to do that. Okay, and this is a business focus. Okay, and it's all about creating value. Okay, you are spending money, but you are creating value for your organization. And it is based on a win-win agreement. So you are winning. Also, the company you are giving this outsource function to should win, of course. Otherwise, they will not continue. Tactical outsourcing can include staff supplementation, okay, and it can easily be scalable, okay. Maybe like additional web server or application service provider capacity, okay, but there is no asset transfers. So tactical, there is no asset transfers, and for short term. So, and they are always, most of the time, linked to specific problems or opportunities, okay. And it is mainly focusing on operation. And you wanted quickly to outsource this tactical outsource to create a new web server or a new website, sorry. Okay. It's not forever. You just ask them. You did the contract. They created it for you. That's it. We have some other types of outsourcing. You'll be amazed the number of outsourcing we have. We have onshore. Okay, this is like very detailed naming. Onshore, and you have outsource, but in your country. Rural outsourcing, you have outsource in a rural area, remote area, non-urban area. Rural, yani very far from the city. Same country, yeah. Nearshore outsourcing, service provider located in a country which is near to your home country, yani neighbor. Nearshore. Offshore, yani far away. Okay. Best shore outsourcing, okay. The best deal for the customer, يعني زي hybrid. Okay, you find the best deal. اللي بنسميها احنا best shore. Where you want, يعني you have a mix. Okay. Any questions? So what are the things we can outsource? We can outsource database management, some of the IT architecture like database management, data architecture, even some of the IT infrastructure, such as computer center, network management, system and software development and maintenance, web development. I already told you about one of these examples. Also training. Some organizations, they outsource the training. They outsource it. Okay. They don't want to hire trainers and be full-time employees, so they outsource. Uh, Here are some of the examples of outsourcing, some companies, how they outsource, and we will see this in the activity also. Okay. So now in the activity, you will open the activity and you will see the example about Tata and Citigroup. Okay. Citigroup is a multinational financial service company. They have outsourced some of their IT requirements to Tata Consulting Services. Okay. The process services is customer call centers and document imaging. Application development, they outsource mobile banking applications, end-to-end solution. This is just example. Okay. So the names, or there is no names or dates. So this is just as an example. Okay, we can use any other example. So, but these are example of the things that can be outsourced. You see, in the infrastructure delivery of its, I mean, systems. Okay, this is long time ago, so they had mainframe, the big computers. Okay. So these are the benefits of outsourcing. Enables business to focus on strategic functions. So when you focus on your main function, lowers annual operating cost and capital investment, free up time and resource, which mean it will increase your speed to market when your products, because you are outsourcing some of the services, you are producing faster. Okay. Provide access to scarce or supplementary resources, of course. So you are getting more skills from the market. Okay. Capital infusion. Okay. Especially for assets that cannot be transferred. Okay. And if you want to get better service, you can do that also. Also, the market benefit from outsource, of course, it will make benefit to the market. It will make what you say, the economy will grow. People will exchange benefits and exchange services. Organizations will deal with each other. Okay, and each one will win. Long-term commercial or customer relationship. Okay, and increasing. Nowadays, customers are going with a limited number of strategic sourcing specialists to develop longer term relationship and negotiate better deals. Okay, so it is evolving, it is getting better and better, and it's everywhere. So, can we just outsource anything? No, we have to study, we have to find out, is there any risk on us? So we have to weigh the decision. Should we buy, yani outsource, or should we do it in-house? Yani instead of me outsource the service to create a new website for us, or I would just hire an expert, be full-time with me in my organization, and let him or her build the website. So there are things to think about, which are about cost, security, speed, assets. Are there any assets that you don't want, the sensitive assets? And let's say you have some secret information. You don't want to give them to an outsourced third party because you are worried. You don't want your data to be exposed. Uh, so lower risk, improve flexibility also. I want them to be always with me to work on them. I don't want to outsource. Then if I need something, I need to contact the other company to do the update. Okay? And so on. Any question? So the barriers, we have already mentioned some of them, which are security, privacy, okay? Flexibility, I don't want to lose the flexibility, for example. I want my work to be always with me, okay? Then I cannot outsource. Uh, or if the outsourcing process is not clear, or lack of intellectual property protection. I'm worried that if I outsource, they will take my secrets, my trade secrets and copyrights, and so on. So we are trying to study how outsource is done. Okay. And we will find what is the framework. I will inform you what is the best framework for outsourcing. The 5 stages for outsourcing are idea, assessment and planning, implementation transitions, and management. Management طبعا ongoing وفيها feedback. It's like a cycle. All right? So these are the 5 phases of outsourcing. Okay? Appropriate. The idea is appropriate. Is it real? Can be done? Okay, agreed. Let's execute it and then let's operate it and improve it. Clear? Okay. Here are each of the stages explained more. And the idea, of course, develop concept, then do high level review. Okay. Then you decide whether you will go or no go. That's why you need to do it on 5 stages. Okay. And each stage should be approved or not approved, go or no go. If one of the stages does not work, خلاص, no go. We'll not do outsource. Find another way. All right. Or do another thing. As you see, the management is the final stage. It governance and metrics. So KPIs. This means KPI. هذه اللي هي ال KPI بالgovernance. This is the KPIs. Okay. Okay, now we will move to the case study and see the case study. Let me see here. Yeah. What are the challenges for outsourcing? Okay, now we talked about the challenges from you as you are the enterprise, you want to outsource. What about on the other side? Of course, they have to meet your requirements. So this is challenge also for the other party, right? So according to Carnegie Mellon University, managing and meeting client expectation is a major challenge for service providers, okay? In these business relationships, and examples of failures abound, okay? And it's not always when there are some cases that we can learn from them, all right? Key issues faced by customer organizations: establishing an appropriate outsourcing strategy, business case, and plan, identifying the appropriate outsourcing opportunities. Okay. This is the first phase, which is idea. You have to find the better idea, go or no go. Everyone should agree. So, in summary, the executive, the management should approve the outsource and get the right people in each stage. Know your current baseline and cost. When you are requesting to outsource and you are to a service provider, you need to issue a proper RFP. RFP and a request for proposal, or RFQ, request for quotation. All right. You need to communicate, have some KPIs, performance metrics. You should have objective, why you are doing this, smart objective, and so on. Okay. I like here at the last line, make your peace with outsourcing now. Either get on the outsourcing train or get in front of it. Okay. Of course, we don't want to do the latter. Okay, now let's do the case study.